So currently we're busy with 2 universities, Zululand and Walter Sisulu, and we are in partnership with University of Cape Town, whereby the University of Cape Town is actually offering their lecture notes, resources to the University of Zululand and Walter Sisulu, with the intention that they can become better and meet the requirements. We're in discussion with the University of Venda. I was told before I joined SAICA that Venda is not interested in producing chartered accountants. I find it very strange because they've got the infrastructure, they've got the capacity. So we are in discussion to say, what is it that we can do to help you to be able? There's a university that is coming in Mpumalanga, as it's pronounced, on Mpumalanga, that we are currently talking to as well, to ensure that when you start, that is already meeting the requirements. So I think the challenge for us is to be proactive. Gone are the days where universities are created, not able to serve the needs of the community. So we need to make sure that we bring the courage that when a university is created, it has all the requirements that are required. SAICA introduced Tutuka in 2004, and Tutuka, I'm told, means development, to develop. And Tutuka is a very exciting program. What we do, we look for students that invariably would have never been qualified to be able to go to university. We actually give them bursaries, we get them to the system, we place them at 8 or 9 of so-called accredited universities. And part of the success story of Tutuka is because we get funding from CETA, the Big Four, Big Five, including Victor's firm as well. I have to be very careful, we've got Big Five in South Africa now, including the Big Five. And one of the success factors I've seen about this program is that the students that we have normally about 300, 400 students. The trick for me, having noticed, compared to when I battled with my chartered accountant, is that these students, when they come into an environment, they actually stay together in the university dorm. They sleep, they drink, they dream chartered accountant. They also have a project manager from the university that ensure that whatever they do is in the interest of their career. So she will ask them, what homework do you have? How have you done in your monthly test? If the student does not have any homework, she will make sure that she creates. English can be very difficult. You have to say she. In my language, I just use one thing, but we have to comply. It's very difficult. She has to ask that I will find something for you to do to be able to cope. So we look at the past performance of these kids. It's amazing. Last year, year before, they are beating the national average pass rate. So it can be done. However, it requires money. It requires a huge money. To take one student is plus minus about 80,000 rands per annum. And we've been very fortunate with this program because there hasn't been too many students that have dropped. As I said, I've already covered this point that we cover about 300 students. And something I should mention that we generally receive about 4,000 students that apply, that meet the requirements. But because of the funding that we have, we can only manage to fund 300. Let me make it easy. We can only manage to fund 400, which is 10% of the application. So the other 90% are somewhere that end up doing something different. They end up moving away from the accounting profession. Now that's why I'm saying that what is it that you are doing in your own right to help in this situation we find ourselves? We've introduced campaigns at SAICA where we expect the likes of Victor and other CAs to pledge. And I've been told that giving is very difficult. If you give somebody anything and it's easy for you, it's not giving. It has to be hard. You have to feel it. And only when you feel it, then you know you're making an impact. Now, before I look at the international transformation, let me say that if the status quo remains. And I look at the definition of status quo, apparently it's a Latin word. That means the mess that we're in. Now, if the status quo remains, it will, and again, if we continue at the same tempo, the same resources, the same speed, the same passion, it will take us not less than 30 years to transform the profession. And I'm sure all of you agree with me. We can't wait for 30 years to transform the profession. So tonight, when you go home, talk to your partner, your spouse, your friend, and say, how can they help to reduce the 30 years for the benefit of the country? Okay, as I said earlier on, the transformation is the change in form, change in image. I have to remember that. So the difficulty that we have as South African accountants is that we're trying to get the numbers right. But international people are moving on. So let's look what's happening outside the country. Australia and New Zealand Institute of Chartered Accountants are merging. And one of the reasons they're merging is that they believe, rightly or wrongly, that somewhere in the future, give it and take, 20 years' time, there's going to be only one Institute of Chartered Accountants. And they are now positioning themselves that when that measure comes, they've already started. And also they are saying that they want to make sure that they give their members a better service. They are now having a CA common program for New Zealand and Australia. And it makes sense because they are neighbors. But if you talk to them, they don't agree that they're the same culture. The American Certified Public Accountants and the CIMA, ICP is based in New York, CIMA is based in London. They've created a JV, joint venture, where they've launched a qualification called the CGMA, which stands for Chartered Global Management Accountant. And the purpose is twofold. One is to ensure that management accountants begin to have a presence in the States. And the other way around, that the CPA in the States will probably play a huge role in Europe and UK. Now, the very interesting one is the developments in Canada, because the Chartered Accountant body is merging with non-Chartered Accountant body. You see, they're also merging with CIMA. But they are saying that the world is getting smaller. And one of the reasons they're doing this is because a lot of immigrants coming into Canada, whereby they come with different qualifications. One of the challenges we have in South Africa, if you try to be a SAICA member, you need to spend 7 years, and you meet certain requirements, and if you've got a degree from Teflop or KwaZulu or Goye, you've got no chance. If you have to do a bridging course, it's going to take you even longer. So they're doing something different. The question becomes, that, are these the lessons that we need to follow? Or is our environment so unique that we need to do what we're doing currently? And those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. The Global Accounting Alliance are engaging in promoting chartered accountants, because there's also a big fight out there between the CAs and the CPAs and CMAs to say who's the preeminent body. Now, Global Accounting Alliance is a body consisting of 11 institutes. Most of them are huge capital markets. Strange enough, South Africa, we're part of them. The countries quickly are England, Scotland, Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, the US, Hong Kong, Japan, Germany, and Canada. The bad news is that you only join this by invitation. You can't apply. So South Africa with SAICA is the only body from an African continent to be playing the space. But our role is to ensure whatever we learn there, we actually share with our brothers and sisters in Africa. And that leads to the next point. The Pan-African Federation of Accountants was launched in 2011, which consists of 39 members of 36 countries. Again, SAICA is a member of PAFA, and the whole purpose of PAFA is to say it's about time that Africa speaks with one voice when it comes to matters of accounting. And PAFA has got about 12 objectives. And we are very fortunate at SAICA because PAFA is host at our institute. Now, I gave you about 5, 6 initiatives that are happening international. I decided that there's no way I'm going to delve more into the 6. I'll pick up one. And you're welcome to ask me questions about the others because of the time constraint. So I decided to spend time on the Chartered Accountant worldwide. Now, the Chartered Accountant worldwide consists of 6 Chartered Accounting bodies of the Global Accounting Alliance body. Let me repeat. The Chartered Accountant worldwide consists of 6 of the 11 members of the GAA. There's a catch. The 6 are only Chartered Accountant. Now, we met recently in London, and we were trying to say, why is it that it's important for us to create Chartered Accountant worldwide? Students are getting confused in terms of studying different disciplines in terms of accounting. So this body believes strongly that Chartered Accountant needs to play an important role in this field. So we compose of about 300,000 CAs, and by the way, there are other Chartered Accountant bodies that are not yet part and parcel of this organization for now. But obviously the idea is inclusivity, is to ensure that we involve everybody. And some of the benefits is to really position Chartered Accountant as the designation vis-a-vis others. And I'm told the CPAs in the world, as we speak today, there's about 800,000. So the Chartered Accountants have a huge challenge when you look at the model. I mean, SAICA has about 34,000 CAs as we speak currently. And England, they've got about 360. And one of the benefits is to play a leading role in shaping the profession and making sure that Chartered Accountant by nature. And something I should mention earlier on that 23% of the CA members are based overseas. And the big challenge as you start engaging with these people, they begin to say CASA is not relevant. They want to call themselves Chartered Accountant. They want to drop the SA. Because the world is moving so fast that globalization is taking over. You cannot be so particular about your home institute anymore. You have to be able to say, I can compete on equal footing wherever you go. And that is why there's a need for ourselves to collaborate with other people. And some of the outcomes is to actually create a website. And also what we're hoping to do is to profile some of the CAs that are overseas and they've really make a good out of their career. We've identified quite a lot from South Africa that are based overseas and they're doing extremely well. So we also want to say these are the kind of people that come from a background of a CA. I did look at the definition of transformation at the beginning, and I said it was from Oxford. I've got another definition, but this is not from Oxford. It's a man-made one. That's a transformation has so many different meanings for different people and organizations. Ultimately, transformation is a must for all in order to survive and progress. And I want to leave you the following thought that from Mahatma Gandhi: be the change you want to see in the world. And let me end by saying that we have a huge challenge in this country because we have unlimited resources in order for us to really transform the profession. But in 1976, Professor Wiseman Kutu was the first chartered accountant to qualify. And I can imagine what went through his mind at that time. Today we have give and take about 2,400 African CAs. And I'm sure it can be done. It might take us longer than we thought, but let's soldier on, let's not give up. Nobody said it was going to be easy. For those that are CAs, keep the flag up, keep what you're doing. One day our children will really be grateful of what we've done for them. Thank you.